How much does it cost per zone to get acid?
Well, you know, boy, it just depends.
Depends on how many zones you're treating.
It just depends, but you know, I would say I'd say a typical job is around 15,000.
And we do our own acid.
Oh yeah, we do our own.
And we do acid for other people, and that's a
That's
profit
a
center.
contract thing.
And as we do that in-house, that 15,000 probably reverts to about half that much. You know what I'm saying?
So what does that terminology mean anyway? Like
acidizing, what it is, this rock in this part of the country, the oil is embedded strictly in limestone.
Right. Okay.
And what acid does, and rock comes through, or oil comes through what we call the porosity part of that structure, and it's little holes the size of maybe big as the end of this pen.
Yeah.
And what acid does, we run geophysical gamma ray logs, which would look like an EKG they'd run on your heart or something. And what that does, that detects, that shows us the hardness and of that rock, and how many holes that rock's actually got in it. And then we also run right behind that, we run what we call a downhole video, where we can actually see for sure, match the log and the video up to make sure that's where that hydrocarbon is coming from. And then what we do, we collect our samples and let Gary analyze those samples, and then he figures what strength hydrochloric acid that we need to put in there. And we put it in under sometimes much as 4,000 pound pressure. And what it does, that pressure starts to, of course, acid, limestone acid, or hydrochloric acid, it really reacts on limestone. It'll leak through it, yeah. And what it does under pressure, it starts to shove that acid through those little holes. It makes those little holes in that rock bigger holes. Therefore, when you get done and you let your acid start coming back, instead of a hole that's big as the end of that, it may be as big as halfway up that now. And common sense will tell you the bigger hole in the rock, the easier the oil will flow through it. Right. And I mean, I've seen wells that we drilled in that might be making 5 barrel a day, natural. We treat them, they'll come back 50, you know. And then they'll hold that for a certain period of time, then they'll decline down maybe to 15, and then at that point in time, we'll give them another drink of acid. So when we get up and running the way we need to be here, we'll have this acid truck pumping acid every day somewhere, because we'll start making immediate rounds, and in order to keep the flow, the oil flow up, doing what we need to do. Okay. So and everything we do here, we hire a very small amount of outside help to do anything. We do everything ourselves. In most cases, Korean pipe is a really good quality pipe. So we plan on making a connection to go ahead and buy this pipe butt in, and then through our facility, once we get set up, we'll thread this pipe. We'll put threads on both ends, and then we buy collars like this, and then those will be installed. We think well, we don't think, we know that it'll save us a lot of money in our own drilling operations, but we also want to service that 200-mile area that Jason's talking about, to actually sell this product to many other companies. Now we're going to start out, we won't start out threading this size just yet, you know, because there's not that much. This pipe here is only used just for your surface pipe. In other words, you use this pipe when you drill down. This only sets through the dirt. Okay. The main one we'll thread is this side. This is 7-inch. This is what we use every day, that pipe there.
And that's usually cemented in the well, and this one's full.
This one's full. This is cemented all the time. And eventually, as we get to it, we will thread. We plan to thread every size pipe that we use in the business, you know, and I think it will reduce our casing cost by at least half, maybe more, and also give us opportunity to offer this service to other companies and other suppliers. So it's probably going to put about another 30 people to work here. So that helps too. And what you do is you force cement down that casing, okay, and then that pressure continues, and what it does, it gets to the bottom of the hole. We leave it about that far off the bottom, and it starts pushing the cement up the backside, up the outside of the casing. And we try to push enough to where it'll actually come out the top of the ground. Sometimes it don't. Sometimes you might hit a fracture. It may not make it all the way to the top. But and then what we do when we get done with that pressure, we run what we call a wiper plug, and we pump. We take back loose and put that in the casing and pump that behind it. And what that does, that wipes all the cement out of the inside of the pipe, and then when it gets to the bottom, it latches at the bottom of that and don't let the cement come up. And then we leave that casing sitting there for a 12-hour period, and then we go back in and drill it. And that way, if you do get a wild well, then you've always got something that's not going to get away from you. Mm-hmm. And what I try to do, if the requirements calls for 40 sacks, I try to put 75. I mean, I try to way overdo my casing program, because, man, when you're sitting there with a big whale that's powerful, then you need to make sure that you ain't got no pipe coming out of the hole. And believe me, I've seen it come out of the hole. I've seen it go. You'd think the space shuttle. Man, I've seen it go 1,000 foot in there before. It all comes into this manifold right here.
How many pumps are at the range?
There's about 40 whales on this property here. It all comes through these manifolds right here.
There's a pumping.
What we do as we put whales back on, they everyone come through and get metered different. Okay?
So these are the tubing. The ones with the tubings are currently activated.
That's right.
So you have 5 going right now.
Well, see, there may be 3 whales actually come through this one pipe, because all the royalties are the same. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? But the only reason that we got them like this is where we can monitor the flow from the whales, where we know exactly which ones are making what.
I see.
You know? And that's the way it goes. And then what happens? This pump, we broke this pump down. Yesterday we had to order a piece of this pump. This pump here is what actually shoves the water back through here to our injection well. This one little pump. Mm-hmm. They last about 2 years, and it just works them down. This pump will move about 2,000 barrels of water in 24 hours. Moves a whole lot of water.
Which you have
And then
to.
it comes through here.
Yeah.
And here we separate
EPA
the water and the
preference,
oil.
Yeah.
This thing separates it, and so that we can understand which tanks. And you can go up there. We can look at that. You want to explain how? What I think he's asking is this where the suction's coming out of the ground? There's a submersible pump at the tank.
There's submersible pump. There's submersible
At the well.
pump in the wells.
At the well.
And they all come through here, and every drop of crude comes through this separator.
Is the
right
pump
here.
at the well what feeds it through all the way to this spot?
Yeah. That's right.
I'm going to explain to them.